Welcome to Trail Mix, a fresh blend of what's happening at Rowan-Cabarrus Community College and in the world of higher education. It's everything you need to keep you informed, inspired, and as always, navigating forward. What if your next job came with a mission that involved changing lives? At Rowan-Cabarrus Community College, you can do just that. And on June 25th, we're hosting a career fair to show you exactly what working here looks like. Today, we're sitting down with two members of the HR team to talk about what makes Rowan-Cabarrus a place worth building a career. Welcome to this episode of Trail Mix. I'm your host, Carter Wingfield, and we also have Tabs Harry co-hosting with us today.
Hi, I'm so excited to be back on.
Yeah, today's podcast is all about jobs at Rowan-Cabarrus, which is perfect for you, Tabs. I think most listeners know by now that you graduated from Rowan-Cabarrus and you have been working with the college ever since. So looking forward to hearing your perspective.
I did work study, then part-time, and then full-time. So I've done the journey.
The whole
thing.
Nice. We're also joined by Nikki Eubanks and Edwin Rodriguez. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I am Nikki Eubanks, and I'm the Chief Human Resources Officer here at Rowan-Cabarrus.
Thanks, Carter and Tabs. I'm Edwin Rodriguez. I'm the Talent and Recruitment Specialist here at Rowan-Cabarrus Community College.
Great. Well, thanks for coming on the air.
You're welcome.
So, Nikki, let's jump into the career fair for a little bit. The tagline for this career fair is, a career? Sure. But really, it's a calling. What does that mean for someone considering working at Rowan-Cabarrus? Like, what makes this more than just a job?
Thank you for asking me that, because I think that's a very important question. We really kind of thought through, what would people look at in terms of wanting to come here? And so a part of that is being kind of service oriented. So when you think about a career and you think about a calling, you have to be passionate about something. And so people who typically have the calling also are service oriented.
Oh, yeah.
And truly that is a part of being here at Rowan-Cabarrus. You have to be passionate, you have to be collaborative, you have to be all those things that really believe in really our mission, vision, and values.
Yeah.
And so to think about it again, it's not just a job, it's not just a career, it's not just working, it is a calling to come here and do the things that we do with students.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that it's the first thing you think of as service.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we're a community college. We're a service to our community.
Yeah.
Whether you're on the faculty or the staff side, we are here to serve our students, serve our community, and make it a better place. So
absolutely. We certainly are. And then the stories that you hear from people, especially when they start to talk about their experiences here, really tie into that calling.
Oh, yeah.
So in thinking about it, it's really important in terms of relationships and some of the things that you hear from faculty. Really, it's not about their job. It is about that passion that they have for students. And then when you think about staff positions, because really people don't really think about our staff positions here, staff talk about those things that, it could be those wraparound services and pieces that, again, they have to be passionate about. They have to have a mindset of being service oriented.
So, Nikki, another question, too, is when it comes to benefits and what Rowan-Cabarrus offers employees, what are the things that tend to kind of surprise people most when they find out about them?
So I think it is probably the time away. I came from the private sector, I'll say a long time ago. I cannot say how long ago, but it was quite some time ago. And in the private sector, you have PTO. Here at the college, we have vacation time, we have sick time, we have bereavement leave, we have paid parental leave. And so we offer things that you will not find in the private sector. We also have flexibility. Some of the jobs that we do offer have virtual options with those jobs. So that's another big thing, something that you do find in the private sector, but also something that you can find within the community college. The benefits, retirement, although nobody thinks about retirement, one day we all are.
Yeah, you will one day.
You will have to retire. And again, when I think about our private sector folks, that is a space where you're in and you may have a retirement. It's like a 401k. And we do offer a 401k that employees can pay into. But we also have the retirement system that from the beginning, when you come on board, although you're not thinking about your retirement, we're thinking about your retirement. And so all employees pay in 6% of their check. And then, of course, the retirement system pays in a certain percentage. And so we're thinking about you from the time you come on board with us all the way until it's time for you to retire out with us. And so I think those are some great benefits that you may not find in other areas.
It definitely was surprising jumping on board here from the private sector when you see just how much vacation and sick time you accrue.
Right.
I remember double checking, making sure that it was right.
Yeah.
Because when you come from the private sector, some places don't really offer that type of flexibility or time off. Here, it's great. The flexibility you have with the time off and the flexibility that you have to use the time off is another one, right? Earning it's one thing, but being able to use the time is a whole other story. So it definitely is a great benefit.
It gives employees the opportunity to create a nice work-life balance.
Yes.
It does. It absolutely does. And sometimes you hear it in some spaces and truly it's not there. But I think here, especially when you think about shared leave, which is something where I run out of leave, I don't have enough leave, we're able in HR to solicit on your behalf. And the folks here over the years, they are very generous and they are able to donate leave to you if you run out of leave.
It could be a medical emergency.
Absolutely.
It could be a variety of things.
Absolutely.
But you run out of leave for whatever reason.
Yeah. And that's something that you're not going to really find, like, unfortunately in a private sector.
Again,
industry.
I was blown away, right?
Right, absolutely.
I think that, again, I cherish your time off. We're in positions here where people are willingly donating their time
Gifting
off.
it to
That's
some-
amazing. It's an incredible benefit.
I think that
Yeah.
speaks to the culture of this place too. Like,
It does.
And what kind of response do you typically get when you send out those shared
Oh,
leave
absolutely.
requests?
People respond overwhelming. They always give leave. There's probably never been a time that we have not asked for shared leave that folks have not donated. And remember, people are donating their own leave.
Yeah.
And they do that willingly each and every time we send out something. So really, going back to your point, it does speak to the culture here. But I do want to say as well that the leave and all those pieces, because a lot of things and a lot of people think a lot about our pay and what we pay. And so that is really a part of kind of that total compensation when you think about the leave that we offer and some of those benefits that we offer that you really have to take into consideration when you're coming on board with us. Because I always say there is your paycheck that you receive that's going to be from our president and from our CFO. And then there is the intrinsic paycheck that you receive
Right.
because again, you're passionate about being here. You enjoy the people that you work with, who you work for, and all of those good things, including that leave that makes you really want to come here and stay for long periods of time. And we do have a lot of folks who stay for long
They do,
periods of
yeah.
time.
A whole lot.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say too, when you're talking about retirement, and I remember when I first got hired, I was so excited about like the leave and the vacation time, but my dad was more excited about the retirement benefits.
Exactly, because people don't think about them. You think
Right.
about, most of our folks think about here today, and they want to know, okay, so when am I going to get paid?
Yeah.
And what are my benefits, my medical, when does that
Yep.
start? And again, those are all important, but, I'll say we are thinking about you, especially in HR, from the time you come into the door. We always want that experience to be an excellent experience, and we're hoping, Tabs, that you had an excellent experience. We won't take anything but a yes for an answer.
Definitely.
and then all the way out the door to your retirement, where we have someone to sit with you and then kind of work you through that retirement process, along with talking to those folks from the retirement system.
And this is part of the North Carolina State retirement system.
It
so
is.
If you have worked somewhere else for the state, that time
It
comes
does.
with you.
It does. It does. And so that's through the tiers system. And so we are, I'll say, in a good position because we do have a person who has worked in county. And so she understands the system, which is always important when you're a benefits coordinator. And she typically works with all of our folks who go out for retirement. And she's able to explain those things to
Shout
them.
out Debbie Dixon, by the way.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Edwin, a lot of people might assume, and I would be one of them, when you think about a college, your main thought is they're just hiring instructors and faculty.
Yep.
The reality is we have a lot more positions available. So what kind of positions are actually available right now that people can look at?
Great. It's a great question, Carter. And even just talking to folks in the community when I'm spreading the word of Rowan-Cabarrus, immediately they think of teachers and instructors, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a teaching degree. I don't want to teach.
Yeah. First thing that people ask me when they find out I work here is like, oh, what do you teach?
What do you teach?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I try to explain it like Rowan-Cabarrus is basically its own ecosystem. It's like a city, right? You need people to fix things. You need people to make you safe. You need people to teach and instruct.
Pay the bills.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely important.
Crunch the numbers, right?
Yeah.
We have everything from facilities who keeps these buildings up and running and lit. Our campus security, campus safety keeps us safe. Business folks pay the bills and pay us. Human resources who bring folks in. So it is a lot more than just teaching, instructing. It is an entire ecosystem.
Mhm. Yeah, we have an extensive IT department here as well.
Absolutely.
That's
Growing
Yeah.
like crazy. Yes, IT is a great call out. But for example, right now we have facilities, grounds people, IT people, folks in our registrar department, and they're looking to help out with students and their transcripts and whatnot.
Construction management.
Yes, HR. And then, of course, your instructors. We're always looking for instructors.
Yeah.
So, Edwin, for someone who might be early in their career or maybe thinking about making a change, what kind of growth and professional development side of working at Rowan-Cabarrus, like what would that look like?
So first off, do it. If you're not happy where you're at, do it. It's scary. I get it, right? I get it. But as far as growth and professional development, we want you to have it. In some cases, we require it, right? For our full-timers, you have to have 30 hours of professional development.
Yeah.
So we're telling you, hey, this is important to us. It should be important to you. Get your 30 hours in. And that could be anything from reading a book on your subject, if you want to do some knowledge on your own, to going to some webinars or watching webinars on your computer, to going to conferences, depending on what conference it is, if it helps with your specific role with the college. It all counts and it's all valuable. We encourage it. It's important. It's important. As far as growth goes, again, it's an ecosystem. There are tiers. There's so much opportunity for growth depending on where area you're in within our staffing. You can start off an entry-level IT person, and next thing you know, you're running the show.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And TAPS is a great story, right? Starting off at part-time,
Absolutely.
work study, part-time, and now she's a co-host.
Yeah.
I know, right? Have made it, Tabs.
What are we talking
Nowhere to
about?
go. Nowhere to go from here, Tab. Sorry.
But Tabs has a great story, and it really speaks to what Edwin was saying in terms of professional development. And I will take it back to the mission, vision, and values of the college. Continuous learning is one of them. And I think managers are very good at providing that opportunity for professional development. But I also think in terms of when I think about career pathing, if I'm coming here and I'm looking at you, Tabs, you're like the commercial. We also have a commercial, which is Diana Yang, who works with us now. She too was a student at Rowan-Cabarrus. She also went through the work-based learning, came to us. She worked for us as a work-based learning student, and then she graduated. She worked for us part-time, and then she came back on as a full-time employee.
Wow. Yeah.
And so, those stories are really, I'll say, the ones that are the sweetest in terms of growth and development. And so, Tabs, again, going back to your story in terms of how you got here, that's something that I would want to really preview to those who are looking, and maybe I don't know, I'm not sure about whether or not I want to come, here and stay, and what those opportunities look like. So Tabs, I think you have like a really great story, and I think I've talked a little bit about what our story was in HR, and these types of stories are the ones that you really want to kind of have that commercial, I put you in a commercial so that you could, really speak to those folks who are really thinking about coming here.
Yeah.
Well, and so for me, when I came in and I was getting my associates in arts, I didn't know what my career path was going to look like. I had been told that I typed really fast, so that I'd be really good as a secretary. And I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. But then once I started working in student government and then I got a work study position in student services, I realized that I liked the jobs here that give you purpose. I feel like there was a lot of purpose here in the roles. And so that's kind of how I knew this is where I wanted to build my career, and been here since. And I think it's a great place to work. I love it.
Story.
But you said purpose. And so that's the whole thing in terms of purpose, passion, being in that place where, I didn't even hear career from you. It was all about that passion and purpose. And that kind of goes back to what we're talking about with the job fair in terms of it's not just a career, it is a calling.
Right.
When you're talking about purpose, what I think is really fascinating is I've been here 13 years this summer. And when I first started here, we were moving down from Virginia to the area. And this was a job that I got. I didn't feel that purpose at that point. But it did not take long for me to realize that purpose working at the college. Even if you don't know what your purpose is with the job that you're applying for, whatever it is, you will figure it out very quickly here, because the culture here, the community, seeing the students when they walk across that stage at graduation gives you your purpose real quick. I think Dr. Spalding, our president, always talks about that being your psychic paycheck.
Yes.
It is.
Right? When you're watching, 600, 700 students walk across the stage and receive their degrees. Yeah, I think purpose easily found here.
Absolutely. And when I think about my start, because I did, like Edwin, start off in the private sector. And so worked out there in HR for 10 years and then came to the college in about 2010 or so. And at that point in time, I was probably at a point of burnout in terms of not really understanding my purpose in the private sector.
Yeah.
And so when I came here, I thought, oh my gosh, this is a place where you can create a footprint, because there were so many things that I felt like I could do. And so when you feel like, and when you see things that you know you can do and where you can make change, that was exciting to me. And that became my purpose. It was less about me having a career at that point, and it was more about what can I do to make the college better. And through that, the college can also make me better, because again, I had really found my purpose when I came here. And the people here, when I see people leaving in terms of our exit interviews, people always say, the thing that they miss about us are the people. They enjoy working with the people. And again, I think that is truly a part of our culture. I think you can come here and we have all these great benefits and all of this, time away. I think that you come here and we also have this kind of atmosphere where people really support you. I mean, genuine support in anything that you do. And for all those things, it's almost like, why wouldn't you want to come
Right.
here? Yeah.
I would imagine too, like from your perspective, coming from the private sector, experiencing that burnout. When
Absolutely.
you come here, it's like you can catch your breath.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
God,
say
yeah.
that to say to give the impression that
Oh,
people
no.
don't work hard here, because
No.
people work very hard here.
Extremely hard. And people sometimes think that you don't work as hard as you do in other sectors, but
Right.
you do work just as hard. There's always going to be some stress. I mean,
sure.
there's always going to be any job that you get to. But I think that if you have a good balance,
and a support system.
Absolutely.
It's that support system that makes the work sustainable.
Absolutely. I certainly agree with that.
It really holds true here. I know I work here, so there's a slight bias, of course, but I've also worked at other places, right? We've all worked at other places, and we've
Absolutely.
seen culture, and we've heard those buzzwords of
Right.
it truly hits here, though, when you realize that, yeah, we really do believe in work-life balance. We believe in having a great workplace culture that fosters, personal growth.
Yeah.
It's really nice it's almost uncomfortable at first, and then you realize this is what it should be like.
Yeah.
Well, and I find it interesting too how Rowan-Cabarrus does a good job of even though there is so many employees here, it really is still that impact. And you would think with there being such a large amount across multiple campuses, you would think that there would be this kind of distance, but there really isn't. And I think that that's what's really impressive.
I agree.
Because I know when we talk about students coming to Rowan-Cabarrus, one of our things is that here you're not just a number at a larger university, but I think that we also do that when it comes to employees. I don't feel like I'm just another number on the payroll, but that the people here really care about me and my development and growth too.
I think an amazing example of that is their shared request leave. You may not know Carter, but when that request
you
comes
won't.
through for Carter, you're going to give time to Carter because Carter needs it.
Thanks in advance, Tabs. And
You're welcome
I
in
got your
advance.
back.
But you gotta
too.
thank
I
you.
got your back too. Well, let's talk about how we can make this a reality for people on the outside looking to find employment here. The career fair that we have coming up. Edwin, can you share some of the details about that? Where is it? When is it? Who can come?
Yeah, very excited about our career fair coming up Thursday, June 25th. It's going to be on our South Campus in Concord, North Carolina. Address 1531 Trinity Church Road. Look forward to seeing you.
Yeah.
It's going to be in our Student Center, which is S203.
Yeah, there'll be signage up
Okay.
to navigate potential employees down to that space.
Yeah, it'll be from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. So half of it will be while we're all there. So you'll have plenty of help from folks at the front desk, people walking around campus to get you where you need to go. We will, of course, be there presenting our human resources team and the college. But we'll also have some pretty heavy hitters there. We'll have some program chairs and some leaders and supervisors from other departments. We'll have some tables to talk about some of their openings and future openings, perhaps, any type of opportunities. We'll have some games for the kids. This is
Absolutely.
not just for prospective job seekers, which we love to have you, but bring your kids, bring your older kids. We're going to have some folks here from student success area who may even talk to you a little bit about becoming a student.
Okay. You find a job, your kid or a spouse or
Absolutely,
somebody finds a way to get enrolled. Yeah.
Have a bag of popcorn and we'll talk to our student success folks about that, or you can come talk to one of our leaders and our HR folks about our potential openings. We love talking about it.
Is there anything that individuals should do beforehand?
Have some of your credentials ready as far as like a resume. Just have something there for us to have, like a hard copy. We have to have some sort of contact, right? We want to be able to get back in touch with you. You took the time to come visit us, and we want to make sure that we follow up.
Is there anywhere prospective job seekers can find a list of open positions at the moment?
Yes. So you can either go to our website, rccc.edu, or go directly to rcccjobs.com. 3 C's, rcccjobs.com. And you'll see the full listing of our staff and faculty positions, both part-time and full-time, that is open right now.
Okay. Perfect. I think that's going to be a great experience. I love what y'all are doing with the career fair this year. I love that it's family friendly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like just hearing these examples of like Tabs, hearing your story of your experience here at the college. This really is a great place to work, and we love having great people come on board with us.
Yeah, we look forward to meeting to getting some more folks, because it is a great place to work.
Well, thank both of y'all for being on
thank
air
you.
today.
So
on the
much fun.
podcast.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Totally fun.
So if anybody listening, if any of this interested you, Rowan-Cabarrus would be a great place for you to explore a career. Join us at our career fair, like Edwin said, on Thursday, June 25th from 3 to 7 p.m. at South Campus, located at 1531 Trinity Church Road in Concord. It's free, it's family friendly, and it could be the first step towards something bigger. So until then, you can browse current openings now at rcccjobs.com. And thanks for listening to this episode of Trail Mix, and we'll see you on June 25th. Thanks for listening to Trail Mix. For more stories, updates, and to learn more about how Rowan-Cabarrus Community College can help you navigate forward, visit us at www.rccc.edu. Next time on Trail Mix.
If anyone's listening and wants better for their life, or to make yourself proud and accomplish a goal, especially if you don't have family or friends rooting for you, then do it for yourself. You have to do it, because the opportunities can be endless. Once you have the chance of something to better yourself and further educate your mind, do not let anyone tell you you can't.